I guess we'll start with Florida State. Their over and win total is 9.5. Obviously, coming off a big time season, 12-0, 13-0, and until the Georgia loss. Obviously, a tough ending to their year. Jordan Travis getting hurt, ruining some college football chances, college football championship chances, obviously. But hey, bottom line is you found your guy in Mike Norvell. He knows how to develop talent. He knows how to win in the transfer portal, and also obviously attract some new talent in the high school rankings. But they're gonna have a massive overhaul on the offense. Now, I want to look at specifically how does the passing game look, right? Obviously, you lose Jordan Travis, your quarterback, and the two guys behind him were nothing special, and they're out the door as well. You're bringing in DJU, experienced guy who has a lot of ties to the ACC from his time at Clemson. Wide receivers, you're losing Johnny Wilson and Keon Coleman, obviously, two studs, freaking natures in their own rights. Keon Coleman, more so than anyone, was just an absolute game changer. Everyone saw week one against LSU what he meant to this team and this roster. Jaheim Bell, a guy, a tight end, running back, wide out, everything you wanted him to do, he could do. And obviously Trey Benson, maybe the best running back in this NFL draft. Those are five guys that are just elite guys that obviously made your team special. And what it was, there's a lot of, new guys coming, or even like some up and coming young guys, that are going to take over that role. Obviously I mentioned DJU, and we've seen the highs of DJU and we've seen the lows of him. So we'll see how it looks. Obviously, I trust Mike Norvell, right? If anyone's going to get the best out of DJU, it's going to be Mike Norvell. We saw what he did in developing Jordan Travis over time. Now, he only gets 1 year with DJU, and he's a guy that has a ton of experience, which is good. But this is going to be his fifth year, and I believe this is his last one. So he's out of eligibility. He chose Florida State to compete for an ACC championship game, college football playoff bid, which we just talked about, meaning that if they win the championship, they are automatic bids to the playoffs. And obviously, Florida State fans will be happy to hear that. But yeah, I want to talk about the talent they're bringing in, specifically guys I want to focus on in the spring. Big name guys, Malik Benson from Alabama. He was the guy, JUCO guy, just a year ago that Bama fans were really excited about it. He was all the rave in the offseason in Bama's receiving core. He was a guy that staff loved and obviously wanted to use him more, but they couldn't really because of the offense that was run by, you know, more so Jalen Monroe's talents, but also what they want to do schematically with their O line and with their running backs and Jalen Monroe's legs. So he didn't get to see, his full potential, but he looked at Florida State and how they utilized Keon Coleman, how they utilized Johnny Wilson, and said, "Hey, I want to be a part of that." And so he comes in. Jalen Brown, another guy that was a highly rated recruit, coming over transferring after just a year at LSU, a guy that's very very fast, very good athlete, a little bit raw, but obviously a lot of people thought he'd play maybe year one at LSU, and obviously he was stuck behind an elite group of receivers down there in the Bayou. But he comes over, and obviously at wide receiver, you also have the famous five-star Hakeem Williams, a guy super, super raw just a year ago. But we saw him get some run. We saw him do some good things. Saw him do some bad things. And so obviously he's developing. So I want to see where he's at in year two. How does he look in the spring game? Are his routes pretty crisp? Can he stay healthy, develop the hands, all that good stuff that makes him, a really special, talent. And they got some older guys there, Poiter and Douglas that have been around the block. So we'll obviously going to be looking at them, but they're more so known commodities. I'm looking at these guys that can be really boom or bust and really elevate, this passing game. What say you?
Yeah, I am looking for. It's not going to be better. It's not going to be better, but I'm looking at their schedule right now. It's pretty manageable. It's pretty manageable. Once again, you get Georgia Tech in Dublin, right? Boston College, you should win. Memphis, you should win. Cal, you should win. SMU might be a tough game, but it's a game that you should win. It's a hey, welcome to the conference game, right? Then you get Clemson, right, who will be good next year, but you get them at home. You get them at home. And you get a bye before you go to Duke. And then you go to Hard Rock to play Miami, which is, not really a road game, except especially for Florida State. There'll be more Florida State fans there than there will be Miami fans. And then you play North Carolina at home, and then at Notre Dame, and then Charleston Southern, whatever, and then Florida at home as well. So he has some tough games in there. I'm looking at there are a lot of games in here that you can drop, but this team should be pretty talented. And like you said, the pass game is something that concerns me. Absolutely. That's something that I want to hear. What are the beat writers saying? Those guys at practice. What are they talking about in terms of this past game? Do they like Malik Benson? Has Akeem Williams taken a step forward as a sophomore? These are all things they're looking for. And what about like the run game too? I like the running back room that they have there. But Trey Benson, of course, was a really, really good running back. NFL scouts would agree with that. I believe the run game will be fine. It will be very fine. But this past game, we'll see what DJU does coming back to the ACC for sure.
Yeah, and obviously that to me, your offense last year is what gave you that buffer zone, right? You're looking at teams that, yes, you're going to lose a lot defensively and depth wise and a lot of high end talent, but like that offense gave you that floor to where even if you had an off night, you could still beat Boston College, right? You could still beat Virginia. You could still beat Duke, right? When you struggled early, but then your offense really clicked and took over, right? In the ACC, all you have to do right now, if you're Florida State, Mike Norvell, yes, winning Notre Dame is important. Beating your rival Florida is important. But if you want to make college football playoffs, you got to win your conference games to get the ACC championship game, and then win that to move on to your auto bid. And to me, your offense, which is exactly why I highlighted it in this question, is how does it look, right? Because it's going to give me a baseline floor on how good I think this team can be this next year, and obviously over on 9.5 win total. Vegas tells you they're going to be pretty darn good as well, even with some maybe beefed up conference games with Miami and hopefully Clemson getting better, and obviously at SMU is another one I'm very interested for. So yeah, to me, Florida State, how does the passing game look? It sounds to me is what I'm looking for.